You will win every dogfight in Trailmakers if you follow these 5 tips. KYE, circle fighting, maintain energy, control zone, and
defensive form.
Sorry, I know you can't hear tip number 5 yet, but it's so valuable and I can't just give it away like that. So anyways, let's jump in and let me make you the best pilot in Trailmakers. If you ever joined an online lobby, this has probably happened to you.
What an idiot, dude. You suck so bad, bro. Oh my.
But don't worry, I feel your pain. And just know that when you're done with this video, that will never happen again, as long as you remember all these tips. So for tip number 1, I present to you KYE. That stands for Know Your Enemy. Simply put, if you see that your aircraft flies very different than your enemies, which, come on, it probably does, then you need to try and use your strengths against their weaknesses and vice versa. For example, if you notice that your jet is slow and your enemy's jet is fast, then you'll need to use your maneuverability against them. The problem with fast jets is that they need speed to stay in the air, have a hard time slowing down, and also have a bigger turning radius. And that allows your slow but more maneuverable jet to get behind them. Now remember, just because you're more maneuverable doesn't mean that you have the advantage in this dogfight. Because your enemy is so fast, they can outclimb you, outdive you, and even control the entire dogfight by engaging and disengaging whenever and wherever they want. So be careful. Tip number 2, circle fighting. You've probably been in a dogfight and felt like it's just one big, never-ending toilet bowl. And that's normal. But the only way to win circle dogfights is by knowing what kind you're in. So let me explain the differences between the two. Here is a 1 circle, and here is a 2 circle. A 1 circle fight is when both jets turn the same direction, creating 1 circle. Now this allows the jet with the better turning radius to get their shot off first. And a 2 circle is when both jets turn in opposite directions, creating 2 circles. This allows the aircraft with higher speed to eventually outmaneuver its opponent. After a head-on pass, look at your enemy's direction of turn and react accordingly to the aircraft's strengths. If your aircraft has a smaller turning radius, go for a 1 circle. And of course, if your aircraft has a big turn radius but is just a little bit faster, go for a 2 circle. Keep these circles in mind, paired with tip number 1, and you'll be 10 times better than most players here in Trailmakers. Tip number 3, maintain energy. From a straight line to a basic maneuver, you will see that you bleed energy. And bleeding energy isn't necessarily bad as long as you don't overextend. Let me explain. In circle dogfights, I always see players bleeding energy by hyperextending their turning radius. They think that if they just pull their nose closer to their opponent while in a circle dogfight, then they can get a shot off and win. Wrong. Yes, of course, we all know we need to line up our shot to execute the kill, but at what cost? Most of the time, players are way too far away and end up losing all of their momentum. But if you were to just wait and allow yourself to get a little closer and get a lock, you would actually get the kill. And you know what I see even more players trying to do? Crazy maneuvers like the Kavosher Bell every chance they get. Oh, someone's on my 6? Kavosher Bell. Yes, it's cool, I get it, I love the maneuver, it's fun. I just did it in my last video where I tested the world's worst aircraft designs, but bro, chill. It's also fun having dogfights that are a little realistic and not always full of gyros on the strength of 10. Tip number 4, control zone. There's no point of working so hard to get on someone's 6 if you're just gonna ruin it by getting too close and overshooting. So let's talk about exactly where the control zone is and where you should try and place your weapons. Control zone is right when your weapons lock on your enemy. And any closer than that, you're just asking to get outmaneuvered. Control zone has a lot to do with maintaining speed, and that's kind of hard here in Trailmakers. But thankfully, the 1.9 update will include a block that will allow us to have variable speed. So get ready, because maintaining your control zone will actually be a lot easier. Now, for weapons placement. I've probably shot off my cockpit over 100 times in this game, and that's due to having my weapons way too far back. Now I know this is kind of hard, but if possible, put your weapons in the nose of your aircraft. This not only allows you to get a lock further than your enemy, but it also gives you a bigger control zone and a less chance of shooting your cockpit off. Tip number 5, the final tip, defensive flying. I have 3 defensive maneuvers that are extremely effective, so pay attention. Scissor maneuver, alternating turns that force the enemy into overshooting, allowing the aircraft in front to get behind and get the kill. Pitchback. This next maneuver is pretty simple. Remember earlier when I said being in a circle dogfight feels like you're stuck in a never-ending toilet bowl? Yeah, well, here's how to stop that from happening. Immediately after a head-on pass, pull up. Your opponent will be continuing the circle while you come down and merge right behind him. Spiral dive. This is very similar to the scissor maneuver, but it's a lot more dangerous. If you're at a high altitude and an enemy is on your 6, go inverted and start diving while using roll and yaw. As long as you keep your cockpit aimed at your enemies, it will be extremely hard for them to get a shot. Once close to the ground, you will both most likely split off into different directions, giving you another chance. Share this video with a friend so you can both dominate the Trailmakers skies, and don't forget to leave a like to show the love. Bye!